Today is January the 7th, 2023. It's a Saturday, and I've made videos before showing how I put a lot of my fruit trees, mainly so far I've done figs and some stone fruit. How I cut a sidewall out of a old used tire and plant my trees into that. Now, I've showed this before, but one of the things I do is I put several layers of cardboard directly underneath my planter, my raised bed tree planter, and put the tire there, and I plant the tree into that. I'm going to show y'all. I know it's not the correct time of the year by all accounts to do transplanting, but I have some pawpaws here. They are dormant. These are seedlings that I'm wanting to graft onto. These seedlings are a couple years old, and I do have seedlings I planted last year, and you can't tell much. The bigger thing there is a support stick. Beside that, there is a tiny seedling that's probably 15-16 inches tall. It was this past spring was just an emerging seedling that I put straight into the soil. It was given to me in a yogurt cup of all things, and they've been in this protective barrier from the sun, which they need their first couple years. And this is planted beside an apricot tree that I'm actually taking out. These apricots haven't been producing well here. I may have gotten half a dozen apricots over the last 12-15 years out of these trees, so they're coming out. I've cut them way back, but they're nurse trees for the shade they provide for the first year or two for these seedlings. And I have two of these seedlings. We had some high wind and stuff here a while back. Blew my cages over and actually snapped this seedling here. Let me see if you can. Let me remove this. Snapped it really low. It's only about 6 inches tall now, but it'll be okay. What happened is the support stick that I had beside it, I guess, got caught when this cage got blown over like this. But it'll be okay. I think it'll come back this next year, and we're going to keep these protected over the next couple years with these wire cages. I'm fixed to have to take and actually tie these wire cages probably to the nurse trees to keep them from blowing over and having more such incidents. Now, I had for the last 2 years tried to nurse this one along. This was a seedling of a known variety that I was trying to keep going, and it just didn't work out, and I've tried grafting onto it and different things, but that one finally gave up the ghost this year. And since it's over here with all these figs, I'll probably just put another fig in that tire. So here we go. Have these two seedlings that still need a couple years, and then I have these seedlings that were given to me that are a couple years old already in pots. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And today I'm planting these. Now, what I've done is I've put in these tires some sandy soil that I already had, and then I've come in with buckets of scrapings from the chicken pen and under the rabbit cages, very rich stuff, and mix it in with that up around the pot. And I've got to put some more around this, but you can see this one's pretty tall right now. And then I'm lifting this pot out. Let me see if I can do this here. Pardon my video skills. Lift the pot out, there's a hole there, the shape of the pot. Now, I've already done one. I took my razor knife, cut out the bottom of the pot, and cut up the side of the pot. And that allowed me to set the tree with minimal disturbance to the root system that's already there, down into that hole with the existing soil all still staying around it, down into the hole that was formed. And hopefully over the winter, the minimally disturbed roots will actually start growing into the soil that I've given it around it, which is mainly some sandy clay, mainly sandy, mixed with these scrapings from the chicken pen and under the rabbit pen. It's what should be a very rich mix that the trees love, hopefully. We shall see. Like I've always said, it's a grand experiment. And then hopefully I'll be obtaining some scions, and whether this year or next, and grafting onto these. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one, and then I'll show y'all. Okay, so I've started cutting here. You can see it's pretty easy to cut these. It's not easy one-handed, but you got these drainage hoses on the side of these pots. I'm just cutting from one to the other and coming around. Okay, so you see, now I can set this right beside that, remove the bottom, and just set this right down in there. But first I'm going to make a cut into the pot up this way. Okay, I think I was talking while it was off, and now I'm trying. Okay, just in case I didn't catch that, I've cut all the way around this pot on the bottom and up the side, and minimal disturbance. I can just take this now and move it over into the hoe, and essentially the walls of the pot is all that's being removed. The roots are not being disturbed, and the walls of the pot are being replaced by rich soil. And in my experience, this type of transplant can be done pretty much any time of the year. We shall see how these pawpaws respond to this come spring. But hopefully, my hope is with this experiment is that over the winter, these roots, they haven't really been disturbed, but they're not going to have a plastic wall they're butting up against. In the wintertime is when a lot of trees grow their roots. While they're not having to grow top growth, they're growing underground. And so hopefully by the time spring comes and this tree has started putting energy into growing leaves and buds and such, that the roots will have already started growing into the soil around it. And hopefully that will be the case. I do have some ants in this one, and we'll be trying to treat for them, but that's just nature. I'm not too awfully worried about them, but I don't like them disturbing the roots, so we'll probably be treating them. Now we've set it over close to the hoe. I'm going to keep some pressure with these sides and pick it up off of the bottom that I cut on this pot and set it over into the hoe. I'm just going to lay my phone down. I'm not going to pause this. I'm going to try to see if we can show y'all. Okay, you see the roots. Now I'm setting this over into the hoe. I'm just going to remove the sides of this pot, and there we go. That just set directly down into that hole real good. And now what I'll do, let me stand up, is I'll put a little bit more soil around it and we'll be good to go. Very little disturbance to the plant. And when I'm finished, it'll look much like this one. And it should be okay. And we'll do the same with these others. So I've got my work cut out, hauling some more dirt over here, placing around these. I've already got now these have been sitting here for a few days, and the compost out of the chicken and rabbit pens is it's been rained on and broke down, so it should be okay. And I just wanted to give y'all kind of an idea of how I do this. Like I said, in my experience, I'm not by no means a professional, but I've done it quite a bit. These trees should be okay. These are dormant. This one tree all winter has persisted in putting a leaf on this branch. I'm not going to mess with it. That's what it wants to do. That's okay. Otherwise, it's fairly dormant, as are the others. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed that. I know it's been a lengthy video. I'm fixed to shut it off and finish up the rest of them. You get the idea of what I'm doing here. God bless.